Before we dive into learning basic brain therapies, it's important that we understand some key concepts behind brain rehab and how to perform these exercises safely and effectively. Our objective is to make long-lasting changes in your brain, offering improved function with minimal reliance on long-term upkeep. Your brain is designed to change. It takes in information from its environment and decides whether it should keep doing the same thing or change and adapt. Over time and with repetition, the brain learns the way you've been doing something and builds new connections to make you more efficient at accomplishing that task. This rewiring and strengthening of your brain connections is what we call neuroplasticity. Think back to a time that you were learning something new, like driving a car or playing a new sport or instrument. I'm sure you remember that in the beginning you were pretty terrible at it. You needed to use so much effort and pay so much attention just to be really bad. But through consistency, repetition, and a lot of practice, that task gets easier to the point where you don't have to think much about it at all. Your brain just does it automatically. This is neuroplasticity at work. Now, neuroplasticity can work for you or against you. If you have poor habits like looking down at your phone or using the incorrect form with an exercise, your brain will get really good at doing that bad thing, which down the road can lead to issues. We as brain rehab experts aim to use the concepts of neuroplasticity to rewire your brain for the better. We want to find areas of your brain that aren't functioning the way they should and teach you exercises and therapies to challenge those areas of the brain. This encourages the brain to learn and adapt, so it can build healthier neuroplasticity over time. To perform your exercises safely, there are 4 things you should know. Step 1, brain cell health. In order to build neuroplasticity, your brain cells need the correct building blocks. A healthy brain cell requires proper oxygen, nutrition, and stimulation. Your exercises will stimulate your brain, but in order for that stimulation to result in neuroplasticity, you must ensure that you have adequate amounts of oxygen and give your body the right nutrients to carry out their processes. We can touch more on oxygen and nutrition in another video, but it might be a good idea to consult with someone if this is a concern for you. Step 2, find the right therapies. Different therapies work for different people. Finding the right therapies for you is best handled with the help of an expert in neurological rehab. If you're unable to meet directly with someone, it's okay to start with general exercises as long as you stop and seek help immediately if your symptoms worsen. But in general, the more specific you can get with your exercises, the better effect they'll have. Step 3, repetition. The brain usually requires lots of repetition to build neuroplasticity. As a general rule, you should plan to perform your exercises about 3 to 4 times throughout the day until you can complete each exercise correctly without any symptoms. If an exercise is easy for you the first time you try it, it may not be the correct exercise for you, or you might be doing it incorrectly. This is where working directly with a practitioner can be a huge benefit. Step 4, don't overstimulate. Your brain cells can only handle so much stimulation. Overstimulating your nerves can bring on symptoms. Pushing through the symptoms does not make you get better faster. So when you start with a therapy, it's important that you monitor yourself for fatigue signs. When you practice your exercises, if you begin to experience any symptoms, or if your baseline symptoms increase at all, it's very important that you stop the exercise. These are some of the most common fatigue signs to be aware of. Sometimes there are more subtle fatigue signs you can look out for, but you may need to work directly with someone to determine those. Every time you hit a fatigue point, stop your therapy session and rest. If possible, still try your next therapy session that day, again stopping when you hit your fatigue point. Note that you may experience fatigue signs in the moment, but may also experience it minutes, hours, or even a full day later. Monitor your response and adjust your routine to find the right amount of therapy to push your brain forward while avoiding any flare-ups. If your symptoms begin to spiral out of control once you begin your therapies, stop your routine immediately and take a few days off to recover. If you're unable to do your therapies without experiencing symptoms, you may need to consult with a practitioner to determine the best path forward. Let's recap. To build better neuroplasticity and get the most out of your rehab, you need proper brain cell health, you need to find the right exercises, you need to repeat those exercises often, and you must make sure you don't overstimulate your brain. Now that you understand how to make effective changes in the brain, you're ready to start learning some basic exercises. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. For help finding the right types of therapies for you, search for a neurological rehab practitioner near you, leave a comment below, or reach out to me at virtualbrainrehab.com. And if you learned something, please remember to give this video a like. This is Dr. P, and I'll see you in the next video.